Hello, good afternoon. I'm just settling in to try and get a little bit of sun, and it's time for me to talk about bent screws again. So this is, I guess, part two. Before I just move on to Swells side, I just want to mention one other thing from Belmarsh. Well, two things actually. The first was that there was a guy on my wing on remand in the first year or so that I was there on Beirut, House Block 3, and he was charged with murdering his girlfriend. The story was that he was caught cheating. He was seeing another girl, and his girlfriend found a text message on her phone, woke him up, asked him about it, confronted him. I'm not sure, I tried to be impartial. Maybe she was pretty irate. He beat her to death with a hammer that was in his bedside table, and he got life. He was only young. I really did not like this guy at all. He was 21 at the time. It was her birthday, I think. I'm pretty sure it was her birthday, and they had a 6-week-old baby. When I very first met him in Belmarsh, he was waiting in the holding room for a legal visit, and I was as well. And I was kind of fresh and a bit naive then, and I just some of you won't be surprised that I just outright asked him what he'd done, and he said that he killed her in self-defense, that she attacked him with a kitchen knife, and he said, yeah, she cut me up and blah blah blah. And I said, where did she cut you? And he showed me the back of his hand. There was nothing on it at all. I mean, literally nothing. So anyway, I know that in the trial, that was his defense, self-defense, and forensically it was proved by the Crown Prosecution Service that he cut himself and put his blood around the bedroom. And because you have blood spatter experts, they proved that this was not blood spatter, it was blood placed. Anyway, he was found guilty, he got life, and he deserved it. I'm not really supposed to talk about this because I'm talking about bent screws, but it leads on to something. He had an affair with the screw on Beirut, and they were discovered. She lost her job. She was actually stopped coming into the prison for work one day, and she was strip searched, and they found a SIM card in her bra. And when they spun his cell, they found various bits and bobs that she'd brought in for him. So technically, yeah, she was a bent screw. This guy, apart from the fact that he killed his girlfriend for no reason, I mean, I don't like wife killers, full stop. But on top of that, his dad was also nicked in the whole thing for assisting an offender and conspiracy to pervert the course of justice. When he was caught, they were actually approached by a police car. They'd stopped somewhere, I think it may have been in Epping Forest, and the young guy who murdered his girlfriend did a runner, left his dad there, and they found the girl's body wrapped up in carpet in the boot of their car. When we were in prison, when he was on remand awaiting trial, he was really desperately trying to get his dad to take the rap for the murder. And I asked stroke confronted him about that one day, and he actually said, fuck him, he's had his life, he should let me have mine. Nice bloke. His dad ended up getting 5 years for the charges brought against him. So the affair was found out, she was sacked, she was bringing in contraband, and he was moved to Swells, and I actually saw him on a visit one day not long after I arrived there, and I saw her, and I was not a fan of this woman anyway. It was some of her attitudes towards people in Belmarsh were wrong. So she left. I very rarely spoke to this guy, but I did say to him, "Oh, so you're still sort of seeing each other then?" And he said, "Nah, not really. I'm just fucking using her for clothes and money." And I just thought, you're such a piece of work, mate. Some people are just not. They're just fucking horrible. And I think he called her a fat cunt to me as well. Yeah, just a nasty piece of work. Anyway, so Swells side, I'm gonna have to split this up now. I've waffled on about that for 7 minutes. There was a big one, I remember. A friend of some friends of mine died on a Friday afternoon. They had a drug supply, a couple of screws on board, and they were all taking ecstasy, MDMA actually. And this guy, he was bombing it, so he was wrapping it up in Rizzlers and swallowing it, and he did it a few times and nothing was happening, and you can probably guess the rest. He did some more, he came up on it all at once and was dead about half an hour later. There was a lot of hoo-ha about that because the prison obviously kind of put 2 and 2 together and came up with, we've got some bent screws here. They did collar a couple of guys. One of them had previously worked on my wing. He was very young. I'm not really sure what happened with all that, because I think they were caught red-handed, but somehow they walked away from it in the end. It was a long and sort of protracted kind of process, but I believe I think it was even after I left Swells side, I heard through the grapevine that they somehow managed to walk away from it, but they both left the job. Another big one in Swells side was a screw got caught coming in one day with 4 9-ounce bars of Moroccan hash soap bar, a kilo, and he immediately grassed up the person who he was bringing it to. That guy got spun and I think moved out of the jail straight away. The screw got nicked, but the big kind of deal about that was he was the #1 governor's son. Prisons have various governors covering all kinds of prison aspects, but the #1 governor is the #1. He's essentially a kind of go-between between the Home Office and the prison itself. I know the screw, the son. I think he got a 1.5 years in prison. I'm not 100% sure that I'm accurate on that, but he did get prison time. The governor was moved to another jail because obviously he didn't want to have to put up with all the baiting. I'll be back.